It's the gold and silver to be decided in the women's under-18 team category, and it's India against Turkey. The Turks are there and have made their way out. Here come the Indians. With them now.
Target number 1, representing India. Parnet Kaur. Priya Kuryan. Ritu Varshini Senthil Kumar. On target number 2, representing Turkey. Hazal Burun. Nehir Sarikhan. Irmak Yüksel. The line judge for this match is Yapi Zurbanov.
And it's a great opportunity, isn't it, Nikki, for them at this young age to gain valuable experience at international level. Obviously, they all have high hopes of one day making the Olympics, the World Championships at senior level. And this is all part of that journey to the top.
Yeah, certainly, the World Championships is probably the biggest event for the juniors. So this is certainly an event you want to get your name on and get a medal on. So, yeah, it means a lot to them.
So India to fire first. The Indian team very strong at these World Championships. So India starting really strongly. Priya Gurjar, who we'll see again later in the individual gold medal match. And another 9.
Ari just keep popping off the rest there. Interestingly, I think all the Turkish are shooting a wrist release, so you can see that strapped around the wrist and then the index finger being used on the trigger.
Nikki, you fired both compound and recurve. How easy is it to, make that change?
Depends on which direction as well, I think. If you've shot recurve, switching to compound, I think is an easier way. But if you've only ever shot compound, switching to recurve is more difficult, I would say. Recurve's way more physical and a lot of poundage, whereas compound is, I think, more of a mental game, really.
So at some point, these youngsters have to decide, do they want to go to the Olympics or not? And that would involve a change to recurve, obviously. But you're saying that's actually quite difficult this way around?
Yeah, I think you make that decision as a younger archer. Most clubs will want you to try and shoot recurve for a bit anyway to learn those skills. And then if you choose to go off and shoot compound, to do that, after a little bit of recurve shooting. Others, go through compound if that suits you. But yeah, at the moment, unfortunately, compound is not in the Olympics. So if that's your dream, then stick with the recurve at the moment.
Great shot there from Burun.
9. Siedem.
Lots of smiles on the Indian team. They seem a little bit more relaxed than the Turks. India leading 54-51 after the first end. We saw the Italians in the bronze medal match starting strongly. How important is a strong start to help build confidence?
Yeah, I think it's important. You know, the Italians in the bronze match, you know, they led from the front, never gave up that lead. So, you know, Compound shoot for raw score. So every arrow's counting. It's not like in recurve with a set system. You know, you can have a bad end and come back. You know, Compound, you've got to stay with it all the time. So I think having that good start is important, but you've got to keep your focus now. You know, not get ahead of yourself. So just stay in the present.
Sytuację następującą. Indie zdobyły 55 punktów, natomiast Turcy 51 punktów.
So Turkey to go first, then two, they alternate. This is a chance for them to just try and gauge the conditions and the wind. The wind looks like it's blowing towards them. So the timer starts to count down, putting them under added pressure. And an excellent start to the second end from Turkey. She made it look very easy, didn't she? Just didn't seem to be any tension there at all.
Yeah, that's what you want. Easier said than done in these conditions, but yeah, these archers are practiced again and again, and you've just got to think, you know, it's you and the target 50 metres away, same as if you're at your club.
8.
Looks quite a complex bow, that. How the
Yeah.
compound bow.
Yeah, compounds are certainly more technical. So you can see the cams at the top and bottom of the bow. They roll over as the string is pulled back. So initially it's really quite heavy to pull. These archers can pull up to 60 pounds as a maximum. I would think in an under 18 category they should be pulling probably less than that. But as that cam rotates, there's a let off. So at full draw, they might only be holding 65 or 75% of that initial draw. So they might only be holding about 15 pounds at full draw. And that can make it quite difficult to hold it still in these windy conditions because you're actually not pulling very much. So any kind of wind, you really do feel it.
Now, a lot of these teams change their order of shooting according to whether it's their first or second arrow. Again, is there any sort of thought behind that? Is there what's the process?
Yes, as long as each archer shoots one arrow in each segment, they can do any rotation of that. So, some people like to put their strong archer out there first to begin and end, and then sometimes they'll switch that archer and put them on last as well to finish up the match. So you normally put a less experienced archer in the middle because they're kind of sandwiched between two more experienced archers, for example. So it's something that's individual to each team and for different reasons. Like the other reason might be how quickly they shoot. Some of these archers you see take a bit longer. And sometimes you want an archer who can be quick and get that arrow away within the time at the end as well. So a number of different factors.
So India stay ahead at the halfway stage of the match, 110 to 104. A 6-point buffer just allows a certain amount of breathing space at this point. So as we watch back some of those arrows, the coach is very animated back of the field there. How can they help in at this point during an actual match? Is it pretty much solely wind spotting?
It could be a number of things. So yeah, we just heard him talking about the wind conditions with his archers. So he can even perhaps see a bit of the arrow flight from back there. So he might be able to tell them what's happening and if their arrows are getting pushed over. They can also spot the timing to help them with how much time is left within the team. But they're also there to spot any problems perhaps that the judges raise. So the judge is there to make sure that archers are not crossing the line too quickly and they could raise a card. So your coach behind you's there to spot any potential problems like that or anything else going on really. The archers should just be there focusing on exactly what they're doing at their time. The coach is there to sort of oversee everything and make sure any issues, then they can spot them and let you know if needed. But otherwise they're just there for a bit of moral support, I guess. Keep you calm, make you laugh, and just keep you relaxed in a match. That's really important.
Expecting a hot day in Wrocław today, around 27, 28 degrees and sunny. And the cloud that we saw earlier on seems to have burnt off. It's about 11:15, so it's only going to get hotter in Wrocław as the day's competition continues. Turkey, the chasing team, will go first again in this third end. Neither of these teams made the gold medal match at the last Worlds. Or didn't make any of the medals anyway, with the USA taking the gold in 2019. 2 ends still to go, though. Can Turkey come back?
9. Dziesięć. Siedem. Dziesięć.
Excellent start to their end by India.
Dziewięć.
Big smile, just bubbling with confidence, this Indian team.
Dziesięć. Osiem.
Final arrow from Turkey on this third end.
Dziewięć. Dziesięć.
Another 10 for India.
Dziewięć, możliwe 10.
India's 9th 10 of this match. Turkey have managed 6. And that brings the score to 169 to India, 157 to Turkey. And that gap now, 8 points, is going to be very tough for Turkey to reel in. And looking at those flags, the wind was fairly constant, wasn't it, Nikki, earlier on, but it seems to be shifting a little bit. And that's what makes it so difficult, trying to sort of guess which way your arrow's going to go.
Yeah, I think it's quite changeable, the conditions today. It's not as if we've got a constant wind, and that can be helpful for an archer, because if you've just got a nice, constant, consistent wind, you can just move your sight and just keep shooting. Whereas look at the flags now over there; they're pretty still at the lower level, so it's quite gusty. Sometimes it's not a lot of wind, sometimes it's a lot more. So you have to be really on the ball here. You have to be making sure you're alert, you're aware of what's going on, and then make adjustments. So these archers, they might be aiming off, so they'll be putting their sight pin, maybe in the red, maybe in the blue, to make sure that arrow then flies across and gets moved by the wind into the gold. But compounds also have a little spirit level in their sight, so They can also do what we call bubble, so that means cant and tilt the bow to one side, and that can also allow him to aim off in the wind basically. So canting the bow over slightly can make an adjustment for the wind.
Okay, so we've got a score correction, 170 now, India, and it's 157 for Turkey. So that is a huge advantage for India.
Yeah, 13 points as we go into the last end, so a lot to do, but you know, in these gusty conditions, anything can happen, so they've got to get out there and shoot their best arrows. That's a great start. Exactly what they needed. Put the pressure on the Indian team to see what they can respond with.
Anything you could do, we could do better, or we could certainly match. That's the message from India.
Well, they said they can do it better. Another point advantage to India.
Two more arrows for Turkey. So a good finish for Turkey in their final arrows. But that gold medal is all but in India's pocket already. And it's a 10. A 7 for gold. And it's done. India shoot their last arrow and take that victory. Celebrations there. India with their gold medal. Turkey will have silver. And India are in line for a very, very good day at these championships. They have gold medal finalists in every category coming up, except for the individual men's. Wait for that to become official.
India are a powerhouse of archery. Huge sport over there, watched by millions of people. I'm sure they'll have lots of supporters watching them today. And Deepika Kumari is the world #1 recurve archer at the moment, so we've got some strong archers in their team in the senior ranks as well.
And what do you think makes them so strong at the moment?
They've been pretty strong over many years now, and it is a massive sport for them. It's one of the biggest sports out there, and yeah, just hard years of hard work, practice, and setting up of teams around the country. I'm sure they've been very successful. So I think it's going to continue to show, and like you said, many more matches for them to see today.
The confirmation then of India youth world champions here in Poland in 2021. Priya Gurjar, Parneet Kaur and Ritu Senthilkumar winning that gold medal. And there'll be an element of disappointment for the Turks as well, because obviously they didn't win the gold, but my goodness, they're going home with a silver medal. Again, Turkey really coming through at youth level and proving themselves here in the women's team. And we'll see another Turkish team in the men's competing for the bronze medal match next. But a huge achievement, not just by India, but by Turkey as well, taking that silver. And what will follow is the medal ceremony. Give them the opportunity to celebrate in style in front of their teammates here in Wrocław.